What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update. And the rumour mill is going in overdrive tonight as Spurs scramble around for a forward player to bring in before the end of the transfer window, which shuts on the 3rd of February. But before we get into all of that, let's bring you an official deal announced by Tottenham as Yoane Min-hyuk has joined Championship side QPR on loan for the remainder of the campaign. And that's been officially announced by Tottenham. It's been officially announced by QPR. And yeah, the last couple of days we have been speaking about it. So that is a done deal.
Yeah, which is great for him. And obviously, it's really good for him to get some experience of English football. And it's good for him to get some match minutes because clearly we weren't giving that to him here and we weren't really trusting him. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on Yoane Min-hyuk at QPR for the next 6 months or for the next few months. Was quite interesting. They announced it with a Squid Game reference as a part of it. Yeah, they did the red line, green light, and then they kind of appeared, and it was Yoane Min-hyuk. So some people aren't happy with that for whatever reason, but yeah, I think hopefully he does really well, and hopefully it's a really good loan spell for him.
Yeah, what's interesting as well, he did an interview on QPR official channels, and his English is actually really good. Seems like all those lessons have been put to good use.
That's fantastic. So the more experience, the better. As we've said before, our loanees at the moment are doing really well. So if he can just carry that on, and hopefully next season, I guess depends how well he does. As if we're going to be using him next season in the first team, but clearly, obviously, we're going to be judging him on this spell because it's likely that we'll want to use him. Huh?
That's all we got to go on.
That's also true, but it'd be interesting because we know that he's a winger who could fit the system if he's acclimatized to English football potentially in terms of his profile. So it's just about him getting physically up to speed, really. And if he does really well in these next few months, it could be very interesting to see what we do with him next season.
Yeah, but let's move on and let's talk about the 3 stories that we've got to use. Starting off with the biggest one, which is Mathys Tel. Fabrizio Romano says that Tottenham are among 7 clubs calling for Mathys Tel in the last 24 hours as a potential loan option. He wants game times guaranteed. Mathys Tel is Tottenham's top target, and Tottenham will be prepared to do something important for Tel. They want to go big. And Florian Plettenberg says that Spurs are definitely very interested in Tel and are now in direct talks with Tel's management. It's an open race. And then later on, he did say that he understands Manchester United are considering entering the race for Tel in the event of the departure of Garnacho or Marcus Rashford. It's an open race, but Man United and more teams are very well informed. He said both a loan and a permanent moves are currently still a possibility for Tel. 4 Premier League clubs interested are Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, and Tottenham.
I mean, I'd be delighted with it. I'm still not sure whether Tel would come here or not in our current state, but obviously it would be a phenomenal move for us. In terms of when it comes to between us and Man United, if Man United are depending on letting go of Garnacho and or Rashford to bring him in, I don't know if that actually happens between now and the end of the window, to be honest. I think that's pretty much going to be up in the air. And also, I mean, Tottenham could steal a march on that if they're waiting for other things to happen and Tottenham are just ready to go. That could mean we could steal a march on them. Chelsea, obviously, there's rumours about them, but apparently he doesn't want to, be in too much competition with the likes of Sancho and Neto, who's going to be competing with on that side, or up front with the likes of Jackson and Nkunku still there. So he wants to go somewhere where he's guaranteed to play, and I think Tottenham could be the place. Now, the problem, obviously, if Arsenal are seriously interested, I think it's going to be a tough sell to beat them because obviously they're a high-quality team at the moment, challenging for big things, and there is a natural place for him in the lineup. So I think all the kind of stars align when it comes to him and Arsenal if they're serious, but we have to wait and see if they are serious, because I was just reading an article saying that if they're potentially looking at Evan Ferguson, but they have to move, or they're currently also bidding for Ollie Watkins, but they have to maybe move a few things around if they're going to try and get them in. So I don't know how serious they are about Mathys Tel, but if they are, I think then obviously he could be that could easily be a go. But when it comes for us, obviously we're not in a good way at the moment, but what we do guarantee is game time. I think as well, whatever you want to say about Ange and his tactics, but I do think the way we play definitely gets a lot out of our forwards. And I think, we are the 2nd or 3rd top goal scorers in the league, even though we are in 15th. And if Mathys Tel was looking for somewhere to shine and looking for somewhere to show off his capabilities and looking to show what a good player is in the forward line, I think Tottenham could be a good place for him, because we do get a lot of our forward players, and all our forwards do have fairly good numbers despite the poor season we're having. So obviously, with the players coming back, hopefully our team will be more settled and we can get more out of those goals that we are scoring. But I think we could sell that to Tel, but obviously the reality is we also are dropping like a stone in the league. And is he up for that fight at the moment? If we do get dragged into anything like that, is he looking at Tottenham like a sinking ship and thinking, I want no part of this? Or can we sell him a dream, a project, I guess, and try and get him here? So it's going to be still, obviously there's other clubs outside the Premier League, I'm sure, are interested in him as well. And they say he's our top target. I'm sure that's the same for a lot of clubs. I'm sure there's a few clubs he's their top target, because this is a serious talent who I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in. So I still think it's unlikely that Tottenham are the ones that are able to get a signature. But look, if it is true that we have a good relationship with Bayern and they are more likely to deal with us than other teams, and if we are ready to stump up the cash now, then maybe there is a possibility. But again, I can't envisage Tel wanting to come here on a permanent. I would just think if he was to come here, it would only be on a loan just to test the waters. I can't see him committing a long-term contract in a mid-season where we are right now. Like, I just think if he was to come here, he maybe would come, but I think he would say, look, I'm going to come on loan. If I enjoy myself, maybe I'll stay, but I can't commit 3 or 4 years right now to this club.
Look, as much as I can't really see this one happening, I would love to see him come through the door. And Fabrizio Romano, he loves selling Tottenham fans a dream, doesn't he? He just absolutely loves it. He says Tottenham are prepared to do something important and they want to go big. I mean, it doesn't sound very much like Tottenham at this moment in time, but yeah, like I said, I would love to see this deal happen, but I just feel like it's a bit beyond us at the moment with where we're at in the league, what we're going for, who the teams that we're fighting against for his signature. I do feel it's a little bit beyond us, but look, stranger things have happened. You know, when we were in a relegation battle back in the 90s, we convinced Jurgen Klinsmann to come to the club. So you never know what can happen, right?
100%. I wouldn't rule anything out. And at the end of the day, if we're the ones willing to put money up and other teams are struggling, we should take advantage of that situation and try and throw some of our financial weight around. We know Tottenham don't tend to do that, but if there is an occasion to do that, it would be on this occasion. I think this would be a very, very great deal. And we know that Spurs have been looking at Tel for a while, because in the Kane deal, I think they wanted Mathys Tel as part of the deal, and Bayern rejected at the time. So I think he's someone we've been looking at for a while. So I think definitely should be one we go for. And I know he's 19, so it is still bringing in another teenager. And he still obviously hasn't hit his best form because he's still very young. He still hasn't peaked yet. But I think this is a serious talent, and he's well ahead of most other teenagers in his age group, I think.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a kind of statement signing at this point of the season when you're looking at maybe some of the other players that we've been linked with. Like if you ask me who do I want, Kolo Muani or Mathys Tel, I'll probably side with Mathys Tel on that one.
100% all day long, especially as well. He's a much better fit for us than in terms of the system than Muani is. Very good at dribbling, much better technically, really good close control. Also, much more adept on the wing than Muani is. I think Muani's much more of a striker, whereas Tel definitely more comfortable on the left and up front as well. So I think he's only going to get better. I think he's a serious talent. And the only other thing is there question marks about his attitude? I don't know. But why haven't Bayern been playing him, I guess, is the only question I have. I know he's itching to get in the first
talent team. They have there, though.
I know. Yeah, that's fair enough. But is it a case of Bayern willing to let him go because they just can't deal with the headache of him just constantly knocking on the door asking to play? Is he a player who's not going to be happy if he's left out of the team for a few games? I don't know. I don't know what he's like as a person, but that's the only thing that is there something there? Is that why Bayern, I don't mind letting him go? I don't know.
Yeah, I do think if it was a case of like attitude problems, they probably would have let him leave to us in the Kane deal 2 years ago when we were asking for it. And I just feel like he thinks whenever he gets on the pitch, he impresses and he deserves more minutes than he's getting. And he wants to go somewhere where he can further his development and get on the pitch more often. I just think it's
we just had another update just now for Romano.
Saying?
Sorry, 7 minutes ago. I don't know if you saw that one.
No.
Says more on Mathys Tel. Also, permanent move is being assessed. Chelsea remain in talks since the beginning of January, pushing for a permanent transfer. Tottenham also keen on Tel based on fee requested. Man United called to ask for a loan condition. So
So
he's
it's
claiming
into
that
a
we're happy to
permanent.
pay the fee.
I wonder what that fee is.
Yeah, I do wonder what that is. I'm assuming it's fairly hefty, but I don't know.
Well, I guess watch this space. Mathys Tel, hopefully a deal can get done and hopefully he is open to joining us. But yeah, like I said many a time, I do question it. But let's move on and let's talk about some other targets. Santi Auna dropped a couple of hours ago saying that Tottenham have opened talks with Brentford for Yoane Wissa as a concrete option and target. I'm guessing it's either or. I guess we won't go for Mathys Tel or Wissa, but it looks as though Spurs are just trying to get their eggs in a few baskets and see which one will stick.
Yeah, someone said it stinks of Paratici, this, and maybe he's got his hand in it. But yeah, look, Wissa, I like. I think he would add something to the group in terms of that real pace in behind threatening defenses. Like, I think he adds probably something a bit different to maybe what Solanke offers. I think he can also play out wide a bit, as I've seen for Brentford. And he's also a player who, to be fair to him, I think in the first few seasons in the Premier League, he wasn't kind of playing that much, or starting that much, I should say. But he always had like quite a good goal scoring record from the bench. And then, as you know, Tony had the ban and got sold, he's got more and more minutes, and his goal scoring has improved. And it's like as he's gotten more time on the pitch, he's gotten better and better. And now, I think last season he got 12 Premier League goals. This season we're in January, he's already on 11. So he seems to be getting more and more used to the Premier League and seems to be scoring more and more goals. I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he is a limited player. I think he's got his usage for Brentford. I do think Brentford play to his strengths, whereas I not necessarily think we would. I do think he's like a good pressing forward. I don't know how good he would be as a winger in our system, but I do think as a pressing forward, he would be good. I think obviously he's another body and Premier League experience, and he's been good for Brentford. He is probably one I would probably predict if we would sign him, he might need upgrading in the next like 18 months or so. But I do like him. I do think he could do a good job for us, and I wouldn't say no to him right now.
I think he is like predominantly a striker though, isn't he? Yoane Wissa, and I think when you're looking at the needs that what we need, right? We need more of a winger. I guess we do need a striker as well with Dom Solanke out until March, and we could do with one. But I think if you're moving in to the next few seasons with Dom Solanke and Yoane Wissa as your number 9 options, I think that's amazing options to have and different options as well. So I'd very much be open to that. But in terms of what we need desperately right now is a winger, and I don't think he really fits that bill. However, I would still like to have him in because I think he's a really good finisher. Every time I see him play, he excites me. And I just think he's a really good player. I really do. I think
is he a
he's
top 6 player though? I don't know.
Is he what?
A top 6 player. Like in Buemo, I'm pretty certain is. Wissa, I'm like, is he just a player playing well in a Brentford team? Like if we move to a top 6 club, would he be as good? I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those.
I think Buemo is like levels above Wissa. I definitely agree with that.
I feel like sometimes there's situations where a player just fits a club, and I think Wissa just might be that. I'm not saying he'll come here and be awful, but like, would he come here and just score loads of goals, or like, would his goal output improve with better players? I'm just not sold on it.
You know what I think with Wissa, like with Dom Solanke this season, he's missed like quite a lot of chances with the ball at his feet. I think Wissa puts those away.
Yeah, I think he might. Yeah, I think if you're asking me if there's a striker going for on goal, who would I rather it be, Wissa or Solanke? I might pick Wissa, to be honest. But if you're asking me when a cross comes in, who would I rather be in the box, Solanke or Wissa? Probably Solanke.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying with these two as number 9 options. I think they have different strengths. So I think it would be really good to have them two like moving forward if maybe we can get rid of Richarlison in the summer. But for right here, right now, I'd prefer to bring in a top winger than maybe a top striker.
Definitely. But I think it would be a decent move, I guess, if we got him in late in the window.
But I do think he can be a top 6 player. I really do. But anyway, the player that maybe the least on our list is the next one we're going to talk about, and the last one we're going to talk about, and that is Noah Okafor of AC Milan. Matti Moretto said in the last few hours, indirect contacts between Tottenham and Milan for Noah Okafor. Tottenham are looking for a winger, and are targeting Mathys Tel, but the competition is very high. Okafor has been proposed as an alternative solution, and Fabrizio says that Tottenham will bring in a striker in the final days of the window. Noah Okafor of Milan is one of the options that has been discussed as an option for Tottenham Hotspur, with the striker set to leave AC Milan. Look, another one who's like a hybrid left winger striker. I really liked him when he was at Salzburg, but since he's gone to AC Milan, he hasn't really impressed, to be honest. And again, injuries have kind of plagued his time there.
Yeah, I don't really know what, as you say, he's been injured a lot, so maybe that's exactly what's held him back. He was an exciting talent at Salzburg. I remember a lot of teams were interested in him. I think Spurs were looking at him as well. And it seemed like a really good signing at the time when Milan got him. But it hasn't worked out. And if he is really injury prone, which I've seen his injury record and he seems like he is, I don't know if that's something that we should be pursuing right now, given that we're struggling so badly with injured players. Is he going to help alleviate that? I guess there are big question marks about that. And as well, you know, I guess when he's been on the pitch, I don't know if there's also been question marks about how good he's been. So maybe that's something we're looking at and thinking he's a player out of favour, out of form, and maybe Ange could get the best out of him potentially. We know
the way we like him.
Yeah, exactly. We know we like a project in Salzburg. When he was at Salzburg, he did look a good player. So maybe that's what we're thinking. I would guess he would probably be, you know, down on our list, and maybe a one that we would only do if we're desperate, I guess.
Yeah, I guess if the other two don't end up happening. I mean,
I'm sure we're looking at others as well.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you reckon he would cost? Because he's been at AC Milan for last season was his first season there. This year, he's had 11. He's played in 11 games. Only 5 of them have been starts. Only 1 goal scored, and he's only just now recovering from a calf muscle tear. So I mean, he's not one that excites me at all, to be honest.
He would only be a loan, I assume. I don't think we would buy him.
Yeah, but even so, a loan or not, it's just not one that excites me.
No,
I guess I'll prefer him in the team than Timo Werner, I guess.
That's until you see him.
But yeah, those are the options. And back to what you said about Paratici, I mean, it does stink of Paratici, all this. Like, maybe we've ditched the Johan Lang undercover bullshit and we've gone with Paratici, just go for 10 targets, put them all in the press and see which one sticks.
Or maybe they're just like, look, we've been so quiet about what we've been trying to do all this whole window, and all the fans are just getting so frustrated and irate. They're like, Fabio, just put the feelers out there. Just tell everyone what we're doing. Fabio, just let everyone know, because at the moment, the uprising is growing and growing.
Yeah, well, look, we'll see what happens. Those are the talking points at the moment. Yoane Wissa, apparently Spurs have open talks with Brentford. Mathys Tel, open race. Spurs, they want to go big, apparently, and Noah Okafor is a backup option. So those are the names in the press. That is our Tottenham update. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, Spurs.